Hello, students. Today, I'm going to teach you to make these delicious toffee candies. On the bottom, there are nuts. In the middle, there's toffee, and on top, there is chocolate. What I like about these, not many ingredients needed. So what you'll need is brown sugar. You can either use light brown or dark brown sugar, butter, nuts. I'm going to use pecans today, and chocolate chips. That's it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare my surface where I'm going to put my candies. I'm going to use plates today. So take a plate. See, it's got a little bit of a scoop to it, so this stuff will fit in it. I'm going to take a little bit of butter, and I'm going to just butter up the dish so that the toffee doesn't stick to it. So I'm just going to, just lightly, you don't need a lot. I'm going to butter up that dish. I'm actually going to do two different varieties here. I'm going to have two different plates, a little bit of butter on it so the toffee doesn't stick to it. Then I'm going to put my nuts on the plate. In this case, I'm going to use pecans. In the last batch that I made, I used almonds and I chopped them up. I'm not going to chop up my pecans. You can use pecans, almonds, walnuts, whatever you want. And you can crush them up if you want, or you can just lay them on the plate. So I'm just going to spread them out. Spread them out on a plate like that. You can take up the whole plate if you're going to make a big batch. I'm going to split my batch into two. On this next one, I'm going to put pretzels. So for the pretzels, I'm going to break them up a little bit into crumbs and then put them on the plate like that. Do a couple more. And then I'm just going to lay them flat. So there we have it. I've got pretzels. Then the next thing you want to do is in a saucepan, I've got a small saucepan here, you're going to heat up your butter and your sugar. A 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 cup of butter to 1 cup of sugar. I'm just going to use a half a cup of butter and a half a cup of sugar. So a half a cup of butter is 1 stick of butter. I've already placed that in my saucepan. I've got a half a cup of brown sugar already measured out. I'm going to place that in with my butter. And then I'm going to stir it and I'm going to heat it up until all the butter's melted and the sugar and the butter is blended together really good and it starts to bubble. It gets almost like a frothy. So I've got it on high. I suggest if you're doing this, you should have parental guidance because the sugar does get very hot and you could possibly burn yourself. So you're just going to keep stirring it as you're heating it up. You don't want to walk away from it because it might burn. All right, I'm just going to let that simmer for a minute. Okay, it's been simmering for about 3 minutes. So it's very bubbly and it's thick and brown. So I'm going to take that mixture. You want to make sure that it starts to bubble and it's almost like a frothy. And I'm going to pour it over my nuts and over my pretzels. So I'm just pouring this over my nuts, covering all of them. And then I'm going to go to my other plate, and I'm going to pour it over my pretzels. Just a little bit more. I'll put this over my nuts. Now I just split it up into 2 plates because I wanted to do 2 different kinds, one with nuts, one with pretzels. Now while it's still hot, I'm going to take chocolate chips and just sprinkle them on top. Today, I'm going to use mini chocolate chip just because I happen to have them and I thought they would melt faster. So I'm going to take this chocolate chips. Well, let me show you what this looks like first before I put the chocolate chips on it. It's just the nuts are covered with that caramel that we just made, like that toffee. Now I'm just going to sprinkle chocolate chips to cover all of the toffee area. And I'm going to sprinkle chocolate chips on this one. And then I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. Because the toffee is hot, it will melt the chocolate. So this is what it looks like right now. I got my chocolate chips on there. And like I said, I'm just going to let them sit for about 5 minutes. If you want to speed up the process, you can take a lid to like a saucepan and cover it, because that'll keep the heat in there and it will make it melt faster. So I'm just going to walk away and I'm going to come back in about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. They've been sitting for about 5 minutes. So as I look at them, the chocolate chips, they got all shiny. That means they're melted. So you're going to take a butter knife and you're just going to spread the melted chocolate around evenly. There we go. I did the first plate. I'm going to do the same thing with the one with the pretzels. Just going to spread it out and smooth out the chocolate. Ones on the edge didn't melt, but that's okay. I'll just run off later. Okay, so now we've got to let this chocolate harden up and cool down. So you can put it in the refrigerator to speed up the process, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to leave it in the freezer or in the refrigerator. I'll put it in the refrigerator for about a half hour, or I could put it in the freezer for like 10 minutes. So I'm going to do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, I just took this out of the freezer, and I actually put it in there for about 20 minutes. So then I'm going to take this spatula, and I'm just going to pry up off of the sheet my toffee. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to break it up into pieces and serve it up. And there you have it. Bon appetit!